Alrighty, what's up guys? Evanaldo here. Welcome back to the channel. Doing a live stream right now, so the big thing that everybody has been kind of talking about so far is the potential jump, higher. I've talked about 102K for a while. Happy New Year, Johnny M. Feliz Año Nuevo. Appreciate you for showing up, my moderator. And I'm curious about what you think. Any coins you want me to look at? Let me know, man. But yeah, let's get into obviously it doesn't get much better in this on the weekly. I mean the thing too, I has like so many thoughts running through my head. But I mean the thing too, we gotta realize if you look at previous cycles, the 2-week trigger wave is forming. As soon as it confirmed, that was end of the fun here, and it's the end of the fun seems to be earlier every single time. You could also kind of compare it to back here. Right there, that was July 18, that trigger wave, and then it was kind of end of the fun. You could even, well, here it went a little higher, and then that's not really a good comparison. If we look at the daily 200, which is, I'm sure other analysts have probably talked about that. That's going to be 106 right now. By the time you hit it, I would guess 102, maybe 103. And why is that significant? Because that's where you kind of rejected from back in April of 22. We could even go back farther and see, how that did in, let's see here. Oh, it did regain. That was interesting. It regained it there, but that was May. So a little bit earlier, like 2 months earlier every time. So if it's 2 months earlier every time, last time was end of March, this time would be end of January. So we're in a simulation if that happens and then you fall off a cliff after that. Now, I mean, obviously, well, let's actually look at that. Let's look at how much more catastrophic was it from that, that kind of rejection. So, I mean, here was probably pretty bad, 66% downward. The previous cycle, I'd be curious if it wasn't as bad. This was 67%. So very similar, actually. And that was, 67. Interesting. No less... no less volatile. Let's say we hit 102 or 103. Now, I would assume this time wouldn't be as bad, but that's 33K. Now, are we going to 33K? I don't think so. I mean, if you want, I would be curious, some of you guys, I mean, what's like worst case scenario, for you think? Let's just assume, worst possible case scenario for Bitcoin. Where do we go? I would guess, I don't know, 40K, 35K. I mean, we could talk about best case scenario, probably somewhere between 60 and 70K. I mean, I guess it's possible super cycle folks are right and you've already bottomed out or whatever. Anything's possible, but it doesn't seem like the most likely scenario, just given, what we've seen in previous cycles. Everything looks pretty overheated. Economy's slowing to a certain extent. So yeah, 64K, that's your worst case. Okay. Let's see, and that's, Amazon right there. I think everything's down a little bit, right? On the day, kind of, yeah, everything's down a bit, which is kind of not a shock there, in my opinion. 75K, that's worst case scenario. Wow. I mean, I guess, I think the main view is obviously institutions, assuming they don't get spooked, they don't sell, that would, I mean, there's an argument to make that it would keep us upward, but I mean, S&P 500 going down farther. I mean, S&P 500, let's say S&P 500 goes down to, around here, 600, which I think is absolutely due for that. I think Bitcoin's going down more than 13% in that scenario. I mean, maybe 20, maybe 30. Maybe more, maybe all the way down to, 48K, but we'll see. We'll definitely have to see. The thing too that, and there's certain things that, I always try to look at, I guess, or I always talk about, and they take a while to kind of actually print and play out and all that. No one really has the patience, including myself to a certain extent. But when these EMAs get bright on the 3-day again, that would be probably the place to get in my opinion, because you would really be breaking the bearish structure, similarly to even the 5-day too, how you did right there, beginning of 2023. So if you could do something like that, then there's a lot of potential. Ethereum, excuse me. I don't think there's going to be a recession in 2026. What I do think is that there may be a little bit more fears of a recession, but probably not even as bad as 2005 tariff fears. It's kind of just crazy how quickly Trump was able to. Canada has a higher chance of recession this year. Interesting how it was higher back here, but yeah, I don't think so. This could go back and forth, but I don't know. I don't think we're going to hit that yet. So yeah. Kevin Hassett seems to be the most likely. Kevin Warsh, though. The Kevins. Not too far behind. I think it's too early to know who he's going to pick, but yeah. Mamdani is the new mayor, and I don't think much is going to happen. Yeah, Tim Walz is probably not going to be charged. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, when we look at ETH right now, I think that the date that, or the place that we want to hit is kind of this two week 200 SMA, which would equate to probably a pretty good deal. 60 something percent down, something with a 6 in front of it. I would kind of guess is going to be what we're looking for probably the correction on Bitcoin, both Bitcoin and both Ethereum. I would say 200 weekly moving average looks very likely, as we always, mess around with that in previous bear cycles. So, 60K, pretty good deal in my opinion. If you can get back up to all-time highs, that's the thing too. Like, most conservative Bitcoin like investing strategy, like if you get in at like somewhere between 50 and 60K, and then you sell at 120, even old all-time high or whatever. And that's probably not a good idea, but let's say you do that. Say you're conservative as hell. That's still like over a double. If you put in, if you have 3 Bitcoin at 50K, let's say, and then, it's 150K, then you're up to 300K. That money can last a long time in some places. So yeah. And if you look over here, so there's those techniques, I would say. I think a lot of it's a waiting game. We want to rip the Band-Aid off quickly, but I think we may get our wish, because like somewhere May, around May could be that potential. That's what I would be looking at. Again, though, Bitcoin dominance, it's like picking a needle in a haystack with these alts, but I do think Bitcoin dominance generally will be headed downward, probably most of this year, most of 27, probably most of 28 as well, maybe even 29. That doesn't mean your alts are going to do well against Bitcoin, though. There's a lot of alts. There could be new ones, too. It's back now. Okay, it looks like my thing got a little bit loose. So thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. What was the last thing I said? Did I say about, the last thing I said was my altcoin portfolio. Since I sold the alts In October, they're on average down like 40 to 50%. So I essentially doubled. If I were to buy them back, I essentially doubled my alt positions. But I don't know if I don't think that's the best idea. If I were to buy alts right now, ETH. But I don't know if I don't know if buying ETH at 3K is really the best possible place. I want to look at ETH versus, or actually, let me move this microphone over just a little bit. So I want to look at ETH versus let's see, SPY. Let's say. I mean, you can make arguments here. I mean, decent area. You're jumping up, for the month. It would make sense. Definitely outperform the SPY for January. I don't know if this like reverse head and shoulders is going to really, play out and jump up this quickly against the S&P 500. I think we may have to go back to this area. We'll see what happens though. Just want to see if it's not even populated, but yeah, I mean we'll have to see here. I don't know. I mean, there's potential. ETH is the only thing I really own right now. I got some ETH. That's the thing that I think can continue to outperform Bitcoin. That's why I like it right now. Generally, it's boring though, but Palantir, again, playing out the way that I've been guessing. I could see crypto really doing better against stocks this month. Yeah, I could definitely see it doing better against the SPY, all this. This could be, especially something up 20x, this could be a good thing to do some put options on. Nothing's going to go up forever. I could see this retracing to potentially 200 weekly moving average, $50, 70% correction. I know the fans of this will hate me for that, but, well, probably by the time you hit that, let's say $70, but that's normally what things that go on crazy rallies end up doing. So yeah, I'm thinking here. Well, let's see, we got Coinbase. Let's take a little look-see at. Yeah, I mean, all these, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're there, Again, the 3-day, once this comes back in the brights, could be a good place. Kind of similar to here, you know what I mean? It came back in the brights there. March of 23 for this. You were all the way down to $30. I mean, this went nuts. Like, if you were able to get in over here, you were up, well, yeah. Definitely seen it's definitely seen better days since, 50% correction. I would guess, down to like 150. I would say that's starting to get to be a good deal. Maybe down to 115. I don't really see it losing 115. So that's what I would say here. Okay, so that was Coinbase. I think the same could be said for Robinhood. I mean, this is like kind of textbook bearish situation here. So yeah, I mean, right there. Yeah, that point. Maybe break down to like $30 at some point. I don't know. Things tend to, I know that like some people may get, be a little bit, disagreeing that it can correct that much. Things tend to get big drawbacks, guys. I mean, they do. I'll tell you that much. They really do. Here's some of the trades. Long is doing well. I think we'll see. I mean, these could be easily 20K profits for these in total. That'll probably get stopped out, but always hedging the bets a bit there. So yeah, we're all advanced in the Discord. We may do a special for the Discord or give like a better discount or something to drive more people in. To be completely honest, but as of right now, I don't know. I'll look into it some more. We may do like a New Year sale or something for a while, or a minute or whatever. gold here. And I think this will probably follow the S&P 500 on the way down. I'm looking at 3,200. You could have one more run up to 47. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be more downward, but we'll see. We'll definitely have to see. You know, silver. We'll see if you could break above 73. I think it's probably going to be headed back down to maybe 50 some point this year, but that's a pretty good buy. If you can get 30% off, I think is great for metals. When these are both down 30%, what's probably an even better deal will be whatever the hell Bitcoin is at. I would assume if these correct 30%, I mean, let's see if those correct 30% from where they are right now. Let's say Bitcoin follows that. Where would that bring us? That's 60. Okay. I would assume Bitcoin may correct even worse. Maybe it's 40%. 45 to 40 to 45, maybe. 48, 49. Those kind of areas. So, yeah. That's kind of the thing that I've been looking at there. ETH versus Bitcoin, and then S&P 500 there, and then it's AVAX. So let's look at the NASDAQ. I think I already looked at it briefly, but yeah, I mean, I think that when you look at the NASDAQ, like this doesn't look to be, the most bullish of things. I mean, you get those 10 to 15% corrections at least. I would say 15%. That's where it starts to get to be a better deal. I mean, like 530, 540. Then because that's a run up to, you get in there, it's 15%, 20% back to all-time highs. It's pretty good. You put $1 million in that, 1.2 million. I'm bullish for the River. I'm bullish for the month, for January, for Bitcoin especially. Let's look at others. I haven't looked at others. Yeah. So the thing with like anything involving others over the past like 10 years or past really since frickin', end of 21 is like every bullish thing just never frickin' plays out with this. However, it's not to say that you can't, jump here. I think you will at least this month now. If Bitcoin could keep rallying past 115 or 112, that's where this could keep going. I don't know if this whole area here looks to be the most bullish of situations. But then again, I don't think this would break downward. So that's an interesting place. I don't know what will happen with this. Here were the lows here. It could go down a little bit lower. You never made a new all-time high yet there. So a lot of diminished returns against Bitcoin would be that pattern. Others versus Bitcoin, I mean, maybe a little bit of strength, but not too much. We've seen so many bullish things just never play out on this. And I would even argue the macro is not even the best. Not even that bullish, but not bad, Definitely not bad. So yeah. On the yearly, on others, I don't look at the yearly, but I'll take your word for it, Johnny. I mean, the thing too is if you look at this in terms of what happened, here's where they ended QT, and you came down a bit and then you jumped up. We ended QT kind of around the valuation that we are right now. Say you come down a little bit, month or two, then you jump up. That's definitely possible. Now, the thing here is like, if you were holding alts for all this period, would you have made money? I think you would have, but maybe not as much as this would have led you to believe, because there was probably a lot of nonsense that didn't do too much. Things like Dash, you would have needed a good portfolio. And I mean, to DCA in now to a good portfolio, not a terrible idea. I would give it a few months, but not a terrible idea, I don't think. Oh, the monthly on others itself. Yeah, let's look at others. Yeah. You're forming a trigger. Like, that's the thing. I would say, like, well, just look at history. I mean, trigger waves right there. That's pretty good. And then you jumped up. Similar thing there, and then you jumped up. You didn't get that this time yet. But this next one could be that. So, according to this, now this could be some months away. Probably the April would be the earliest I would look into this. If it confirms, then you're buying in May. So, that would equate to a buy in May for altcoins, you know. That would equate to that. I don't feel like looking at the MACD. I could see, you know, the equivalent in Market Cipher on the monthly. But I'm sure the MACD is good. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a monthly. It's such a large indicator. I mean, that could take months before you even see a little bit, you know. Maybe more sideways here. I don't know. You know, I'd be curious. I mean, I'm glad I sold a lot of my alts, you know, or pretty much all of them, you know, in October and later October and the thing I think a lot of you guys probably remember what I was looking at if you've been following me, and I was looking at the 3-week. Now the 3-week right here, this red dot is when I sold them, right when this confirmed, which was not a bad place. 35, I think I got out or something. Now you're at 31, but alts did even, you know, get catastrophically worse. So keep that in mind. You know, just trying to look at these things, you know, be objective as possible and all that, you know. Yeah, that looks pretty cooked. I mean, this would be a pretty good, you know, that's where you start to get a good deal, you know. High fives, I would say. Let's look at this versus the triple Q, because I think this could be the one of the years where, hard to say, but I think this could be one of the years where the S&P 500 outperforms the triple Q. And I think it might, especially on this monthly here. I don't know by how much, but you could see some jumps potentially. Oxygen. I thought you meant like Oxy Patrol. Yeah, I mean, there's so many of these coins, man. This longer term, that doesn't look good right there. What was the other one somebody wanted? River? Yeah, it's a new one. I don't know. It's very hard to say with this. It's breaking upward, but who knows if that could last. So yeah. Curious about, like, I don't know, Doge. Curious if that's done any, little jump right here. I mean, 14 cents. Nobody cares about that, but still making higher lows overall since, you know, 23. So there's that. I mean, it's done better than some altcoins. I'll tell you that much. Curious, the euro's still kind of outperforming the dollar a bit, which is, yeah, December 20, yeah. There's a jump there. So a lot of this year, a lot of last year, 2025, and then we'll see if they can hold up. Probably not, though. Maybe start to go sideways a bit. So yeah, DXY we could look at. And then a little jump right here, so I don't know. I could see this going upward, but yeah, you get the blind. It's hard to say on this. I don't know. Sideways, maybe. I don't know. Jasmine. Yeah, that's oh, is it this? Yeah, no, it hasn't done much. Maybe it bounced here, maybe not. I don't know. The thing too that people have talked about, and this would be kind of like others versus Bitcoin, but I think this chart normally, if you're more bearish on alts, I guess this is the one to look at. I don't know. It's jumping. I mean, it is jumping. I mean, I don't know. Some people would argue you want to come back there, you know. I mean, this is, okay, so if we compare this to 2019, which is very interesting if you were to compare it to, I don't think we're going to go down that far, but excuse me. That would equate to May of this year, which could be, it's when the new Fed chair comes in, so could be May. So yeah, what's up, crypto pays, crypto pays, crypto pays, But yeah, no, that's cool. I don't know. I mean, I'm personally not buying alts right now. I'm not buying any crypto. I'm stacking, safer stuff at the moment. But I'll have my arsenal very, very well equipped to buy more stuff in a few months. So, yeah. I mean, there's time. I mean, it's like anything else in life. I think there's times to be more conservative. There's times to be more liberal. I don't mean politically. I mean, in terms of investing. But, I think now is the time to be more conservative. That's what I will say. Let's see, gold. I looked at that. Yeah, that'll probably come down too. BRK, okay. So, I've been looking at this just because it's shown some strength, hitting a big point against the S&P 500, since there, now coming back down a little bit. This against the SPY is like watching paint dry, but I don't know. I think it could have a good year against the SPY. Although maybe this will be the first time in many, many years that it's a red year. So, yeah. Oh, Occidental Petroleum. Okay. Yeah, that's the one that Buffett has. I think energy stuff should, based on cycles and all that, should do well. At least probably over the next 10 years. I mean, yeah, I think this could jump here. It looks pretty good, at least in the short term. Since Buffett bought it, not really the best situation, I don't think, but it's on sale. I mean, energy, it's down 50%, volatile puppy. Yeah, could be a good buy, definitely. I don't know how much I would risk on this, but yeah, if you want some energy exposure, I mean, I don't know, if you had a $1 million portfolio, I don't know, a couple 20 grand or something, 30 grand, I don't know, some energy exposure. What's up, James? Been a second. Yeah, predictions by February, James. Yeah, I think it's going to go up by February. That's my prediction. The 200 weekly, or excuse me, 200 daily on Bitcoin, I think is likely. That's what I'm kind of looking at. So yeah, that's what I would say. Cha-ching. This jump here. Yeah, I mean, ETH, I would say, yeah, 35 to 37. 37, you want to break through to get things more bullish, but I don't know if that's going to be there. We'll see. By the way, guys, if you guys want to trade, check out BloFin right now. I mean, tap it. Look, I mean, as a UI, good. There's a guy in the Discord, good guy. They took a while to give him his bonus, or they said there's a mistake. So it's been kind of unreasonably long. That's why I'm getting a little bit annoyed with Tap It. They gave me my bonus because I'm Evan Aldo, but I may, sometimes I get annoyed with stuff like that. As just trading, good, but the bonus thing it's just one person, but still. Some of them do have annoying things, but BloFin I think is the best overall for non-KYC. That's the first link down below. Check it out. You get 20% off your fees with my link for life. So check that out. BitFi is great as well. Tapit's pretty good. We'll see. But check out BloFin. I think that's probably the best bet for most people. I don't think they're going to be KYC anytime soon, but I could be wrong. So let's look at Solana. Look at Solana here. Let's take a look. See. I think that 153 there. That place there. Yeah, I mean, you could get up to 170 even. Probably 150 would be more realistic, but we'll see. I think this should go up. I think it should. Go up 30 to 40%. What would that be if Bitcoin went? It's probably what, 10% if we were to get up to 15%. Yeah, I could see that. I do think like it'll do well against the S&P 500. It'll probably outperform the stock market, outperform TradFi, this month, January. So that would be my kind of guess here. So yeah. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Always appreciate you guys smashing a like button. I took about a week off. I mean, I had the flu. Some of the congestion still lingering on a little bit, even though it's been like 7 or 8 days since I first caught the flu. The flu is annoying, especially in the wintertime. I'm in the tropics now, which has helped a bit. So that's good. And yeah, it's always cool to see you guys tuning in and all that. So yeah, Chainlink, yeah, that's a good question. Let's take a look. That's the thing too. That's a good point. Before we look at Chainlink, I just want to mention Oxy is like, out of everything I've looked at today, this has looked like a lot better than most things. I mean, there's always going to be some bull market somewhere. Maybe after the metals kind of ended a little bit, you see some energy do well. I mean, it's a Buffett stock, so I mean, how bad can it be? It's down 50%, so we'll see. That rhymes. But yeah, it's a good link. Oh, we didn't talk about, yeah, Johnny, we didn't talk about that. You had the flu recently? Like within the last month? Yeah, I had the flu. I was mainly not able to do much for like 3 days. Well, the first day was not too bad, just kind of achy and tight, achy, a little bit feverish, all that. The second day, not terrible. But the second night was like really even with taking Tylenol, it was still pretty feverish, and I had like sleep in sweatpants, sweatshirt. And then I woke up the third day. The third day, the head hurt a lot, but it was just more exhausted. I knew I was getting better. I couldn't really do it. I just sat and watched TV. The fourth day, I was pretty much normal, just kind of tired. Fifth day, pretty much like since the fifth day, it's just been kind of still congested a little bit and coughing, which that could linger on. Okay, so you had it 3 weeks ago. Bad cough, yeah. Did you get the flu shot? I'm curious. I don't get the flu shot, but this was like bad enough where you're like, oh, maybe I should have got the flu shot or whatever, but you never know. Well, but yeah, I mean, it does get, I didn't need to get no antibiotics or nothing. Sometimes in the past, like when I was younger, it turned into like an ear infection or a sinus infection. But yeah. Nah, the flu, I haven't had it in like 5 years. How I knew I was at the gym one morning, and I just felt like I was getting way more fatigued than I should have been getting, and I was getting more sore than I should have been getting, and then it kind of, as it got worse, then I kind of knew, oh yeah, I might have the flu. The achy. Sleep is the only cure. Yeah, I mean, laying down, yeah, because you have no energy. Yeah, I mean, all you could really do is take, I mean, it is dreadful without like any Tylenol or Advil, it's pretty dreadful without that. With Tylenol, it's not, you could get through it, it's not too bad. The fever was bad that second night though. That was a bad fever. I didn't take the temperature, but I was shivering all night pretty much. But yeah. Thoughts on Aerodrome? Yeah, so let's take a look there. Oh, let's take a look at Chainlink first. It's better. This is better than most other things. I'll say that. This is like better than a lot of other things because you're making higher lows. Probably it's still terrible on its Bitcoin evaluation. I would be looking at like maybe this monthly trigger wave. If you get that within the next April or May, is a good buy potentially. That's what I'd be looking at. So yeah. That's Chainlink. If we look at Chainlink Bitcoin, yeah, still nothing really brewing. I mean, assuming this survives, you're going to see something like this, I would assume. So, get in sometime this year, I guess. Sometime, I guess, presumably in the second half of this year. So, yeah, that's Chainlink. Yeah. Now the flu is not, yeah, the flu sucks, man. I mean, there's a lot of people that die from the flu. I don't even think, could you still get COVID anymore? Like, is that kind of done? Like, does anyone actually, even, it probably still exists, but it's just the same as like getting a cold now. Let's look at the 10-year. Yeah, the thing with these is like, I don't think, I think this is going to be kind of choppy, bearish, you know. It'll probably come down a bit, but nothing too crazy for until probably the next recession or something. Too good to be true for people trying to buy a property or whatever. Miami real estate, I think, finally got a little jump here. I don't know what this is gonna, I mean, I guess that could have been about, I have no idea what to make of this. I don't know. I mean, it looks good in that 2-week, you know, you're forming something in the 3-week too. Even the monthly, I mean, I'm trying to like compare, last time we saw, I guess right there, you know, but I don't think it's going to play out that well, you know. I mean, if it's like these, you could still be going down, so, yeah. ICP, yeah. I don't know, I lost that low right there. I don't think it looks too strong at the moment. We'll see what happens. So, I mean, I think everything will probably come up a bit more, you know, over the next, you know, 2 to 4 weeks, but, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the amount, yeah, when I had the flu, the congestion was bad too. A lot of saline spray, a lot of tea, and especially when you're in the Northeast and it's just so dry, you know. I mean, I had to change my flight. Well, it did snow the day I was supposed to fly out, but I probably still would have flown out. So I didn't change my flight to 3 days later because of it. So, yeah, glad to be done with that, you know. Yeah, if you break up from there, Solana, I can see 150. Yeah, let's look at like the news, I guess. CNBC, if there's anything going on here. So I guess NASDAQ futures are down a little bit. SPY did close higher, I guess slightly. I don't know if that means anything. That's the news, yeah. Third straight winning year. I don't know if that's going to end up to be a winning year, but we'll see. Singapore. It's not too much there. Crypto funding rates, was it? They changed the site or whatever, I think. Yeah, CoinPerps. I guess we're slightly positive on Bitcoin, slightly positive on some of these. I mean, it depends on the exchange, but yeah. Let's see here. I guess Mutant Apes are up slightly, 2,000. I think, yeah. And that's kind of like that NFT market's kind of going to zero, unfortunately. Just completely dead. I don't know if that has any type of future, but we'll see. I wonder what people trump out by. Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, none of this. JD Vance, I mean, that's what it looks like, JD Vance. I mean, Democratic one could be more fragmented with like AOC and Newsom going at it. I think, you know, I mean, if it's not JD Vance, who's it going to be? I mean, he's got 5% for changing the Constitution, I guess. That's probably not going to happen. Probably make a lot of money if you bet on it and you got it right, though. But yeah. So is that one? I don't know. Fox Business. Let's see. Try that. 6 decades. That's insane. That is insane. Oh yeah, it's just Miami will dethrone. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it's not gonna. The problem is all the rich people don't really pay any taxes to begin with. So how's Mebdani really gonna be able to do anything? They have no income. I mean, he could go after like the lower and middle class more, you know. What are the updated retirement contribution limits? Government. 527. Oh. 7,500 for a IRA. Okay. Do you guys like? I mean, I would be curious. Like, do you guys have IRAs? I mean, I do. But I guess the worry on those is like, you know, will the taxes get so bad? Will they kind of screw over people with those, you know, when we're older? I mean, who knows? I guess that's kind of the main question there. I hope they don't, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I think right now, you know, stick to the longs, have patience. You're probably going to continue to jump up this week, next week. Probably most of the weeks will be green this month. I think it's going to be a green January. I think the year of the horse, the fire horse starts officially January 17th. So we'll see that happening. So yeah, I'll see you guys really soon. Smash the like button. Check out the link down below for BloFin. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity, especially for the swing longs right now. Check it out with my link. 20% for your fees for life. BYDFI, tap it, great as well. I'll see you guys really soon. Goodbye.